Rose Fyleman. I think mice are rather nice. Their tails are long, their faces small, they haven't any chins at all. Their ears are pink, their teeth are white, they run about the house at night. They nibble things they shouldn't touch, and no one seems to like them much. But I think mice are rather nice.
Hello and welcome to the Mousie Makes podcast. I'm Helen and it's really lovely to have you here with me. Today I am going to chat to you about making things. Yeah, definitely making things. But today there's a bit of a theme because I think I've become slightly obsessed with mice, as you'll see from today's episode. If you do enjoy my podcast and you would like to keep watching more, then you could tap on subscribe below and you could like the video and you could even make a comment. I do love having comments, that would be really nice. And if there's anything that I mention while I'm chatting, I do try and link it or write about it in the description box below that you can have a look at afterwards. So yes, it's mostly mice today. I'm also going to go and make something in the kitchen as well. I thought you might like that too a bit later. But mice, well, I have liked making mice. And I have to stress the making. I'm not too keen on the actual real thing in my house. No, who does? I don't really want to mouse loose about the house. But I do love making them, and I just love how they look. And it was quite a few years ago that I started making a lot of mice, and it was a time that my mum and I used to do maybe a couple of craft fairs a year and sell things, and I found that lots of people liked buying mice, and most of the mice that I was selling were from a pattern by Alan Dart. This little mouse here, and you can just change all the colours of the clothing and the fur, and I just thought they had lots and lots of character, and I sold lots of those little mice. And in 2014 actually, I decided that I would make a calendar using the mice. This calendar here, and it's got loads of different mice in, who are called the Mice of Woolington, imaginary place, Woolington. And I'm going to show you it now, because what I did was set up lots of little scenes for the mice, and then I wrote something about them, what their name was and what they liked doing. So I'm going to show you now, right all the way through the calendar, and me reading the words, because there's words underneath each photo there. So here we go. Here's my mice calendar.
The Mice of Woolington by Helen Kettridge. January. Benedict is a bird enthusiast. In the biting breeze he goes bravely out, filling the bird tables with tasty treats while he waits for the wintry weather to wane. February. Basil is a baker. He busies himself in the kitchen, patiently and purposefully preparing for Valentine's Day by baking beautiful biscuits for his beloved Beatrice. March. Emmeline's mind is filled with wonderful words. When the chill winter winds whistle wildly at her door, she curls up cosily in her comfortable cottage and buries herself in works of great literature. April. Flora is full of optimism when sowing seeds in spring. She hopes to have a glorious garden, full of fantastic flowers and a feast of fruit and vegetables. May. Matthias is a marvellous Morris dancer. On May mornings you might notice him limbering up ready to perform his lightweight leaps and incredible capers. June. Darcy is the daintiest of mice. She dances delicately day after day, dreaming of dancing for adoring fans on auspicious stages around the world. July. Ernest is an avid adventurer. He deeply admires the eminent explorers of bygone years and seeks to emulate them with epic expeditions of his own. August. Poppy, Primrose and Patsy are popping out for a picnic. They've packed their basket with freshly baked bread and a box of blueberries and happily anticipate an amazing afternoon. September. Scarlett loves to knit and sew. A scarf for Susie, a dress for Daisy, and an apron for Antonia. So many projects on the go. October. Timothy and Tilly are twins. This troublesome twosome, dashingly dressed for Halloween, tiptoe together and truculently talk of terrible tricks and tremendous treats. November. Mirabelle is rather a musical mouse. She is most often moved by the marvellous music of Mahler and Mussorgsky and practices her piano performance to perfection. December. Christabel is crazy about Christmas. She delights in the dazzling decorations that light up the dark, damp days and dreams of delivering her pile of pretty parcels to family and friends. So when I was making all of those Alan Dart mice, I decided I needed a little business card, and therefore I decided I'd have a name and decided to call myself mousiemakes, since most of the things I was selling were mice. And so then I decided, when I started a podcast, or actually in the first place I had a website, and I called that mousiemakes, and I drew the header for the top of the website page, and of course I had a little mouse on it that I drew. And after that I decided I wanted to make the mouse that I'd drawn, and that's how I ended up with this mouse, the actual Mousie, and I made the pattern for this. And you can find that on my website if you want to have a look for it. And yeah, so I'm very pleased with him. Unfortunately, he's still just a crochet pattern, so if you don't crochet, you'll have to wait very patiently. I am planning to make a knitted version, but I haven't quite got around to it yet. Anyway, so I love little Mousie here. He's busy doing his bit of stitching. If you saw last week's episode about slow stitching, yeah, that will mean something to you. So there we go. So that's Mousie. And so of my recent mice that I have made, I have got Sadie, who you've seen Sadie if you've watched previous episodes, but she didn't have any clothes the last time, and I've since then made her a dress. It really was a superb pattern by Cynthia Vallée, and I just had difficulty with one thing, and that was when I was making the dress. It was to do with the edging for the top of the dress, and I just couldn't work it out at all. So I had to consult my mum on that one. She worked it out for me. And so there we go. I'm really pleased with her. She's a lot bigger than all the other mice that I've got, so I've decided to call her Tante Souris, so Aunt Mouse. And her name is Sadie, of course. So there she is there. I have got one mouse here that I didn't make, which I love so much. I think by a lady who called herself Little Forest Felting, but who I can't find on Etsy anymore or anywhere. But he's a beautiful needle felted mouse with a lovely little acorn cap. So he's really lovely. I haven't got into needle felting yet, so something still that I might try. I recently bought some new felt that I happened to spot. I think I spotted it on Instagram and loved it. I just loved how it looked. So by a lovely lady called Hannah, who dyes the felt herself.
and she does the most beautiful colours, pastel shades and different shades of brown, lovely natural colours. And so I decided to buy this felt and make some mice with it. Because actually on Instagram she was busy making some mice as well. She was designing her own pattern. But I got, first of all, a free pattern from Ann Wood Handmade. Again, have a look below if you want the link to the pattern. And really lovely pattern, very good instructions as well. You hand sew it and then you turn it inside out. And yeah, the only problem I had with it was the ears. I put the ears in back to front to start off with, so I had to pull it apart a little bit, start again. I wish I'd done smaller stitching, and I'm not entirely happy with the embroidery of the nose. Kind of has gone into the seam a bit, so it doesn't show up properly. Apart from that, I think it's a really lovely mouse, and I think I will make more mice from that pattern. So that's that one, and he hasn't got a name yet. He or she hasn't got a name yet. Then I made 2 more felt mice here, and they were again from another free pattern from the Bustle Sew website. And these were much simpler to make. You don't have to turn them inside out, and they were quite quick to make and looking gorgeous in the felt, that same felt that I bought. And then I have recently made a little knitted mouse, a new pattern that I hadn't tried before. And the pattern maker, Claire Garland, who again I've seen lots of her lovely things on Instagram. It was quite a tricky pattern. It was just knitted on 2 needles on 4-ply yarn. I used Drops Alpaca 4-ply, which is quite a favourite of mine for making little animals. And you kind of knit a mouse skin really. You start from the tip of the nose and then kind of make it gets shaped in all sorts of places. And you get right down to the bottom, and then you change to white yarn and do the little tummy and chest. And then it's quite complex sewing it together as well. And the only part that's separate are the arms. I had to knit those separately. And then of course she's got this cute little jumper using some sock yarn. And I've called her Isabella. As soon as I'd finished her, I knew she was called Isabella. I don't know why. Why is it sometimes? They just look at you. But she is very cute. I'm very pleased with her. And then from another kit that I bought recently, I seem to be into buying kits at the moment, I don't know why. I bought a kit for making a mouse called Elsie. And it is a brilliant kit. I can highly recommend it. It came with just about everything you could need. And then she has a lovely little knitted jumper and some lovely spotty bloomers and a gorgeous Liberty lawn fabric skirt there. And I think she is really lovely. And I like the name Elsie as well, so she's definitely staying as Elsie. And then the final mouse that I've made recently is a little crochet one from a designer who I've made lots of patterns from, mostly Star Wars characters. I have made loads of her Star Wars characters. She's called Lucy Collin. I just happened to come across this pattern online. So there we go, all of my recent complete obsession with making mice. Who knows where it'll end? Be taken over with mice. Okay, right, well I think we'll go off to the kitchen now and make some cookies that I really love, some sultana and oat cookies, which are very nice. I feel they're quite healthy as well. So let's go to the kitchen. Well, that's about it for today. Just remains for me to wish you all well, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. So take care, keep busy. I'll be back again soon. Bye.